Hi, Dr. Maryna.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Saurabh, and good afternoon, everyone who is joining us today for the masterclass.
Can you hear me properly?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you nicely. Yes, that's
Okay.
fine.
So we haven't started officially yet. We'll start this masterclass in about 5 minutes. That's the official time. When will this begin?
Okay.
But we're very excited about this. I mean, at Edorer, we have been doing a lot of masterclasses in different domains, especially in agriculture. So we have a great amount of following in the agricultural community in Asia and in rest of the world as well. And in fact, today also we have a lot of excitement about this masterclass. You will see people are still pouring in, more and more people pour in. The audience is agriculture students, undergraduate, postgraduate students, even PhD researchers. And we also would have a lot of academicians, professors, and lecturers in this domain who are really interested to learn more about the current practices in modern agriculture and whatnot, and probably will have that from you. But on a personal note, uh, I'm really happy to speak to somebody from Ukraine. Uh, I have so many friends in Ukraine. In fact, I've spent almost a month staying in Kiev, and that was before the unfortunate war. And it's so unfortunate and saddening to see all of that, those lovely places where we used to spend, like Krashetik Street, European Square. We used to spend a lot of time in all those places. But I'm sure it'll bounce back. It has always, and it will always. And so really look
We
forward.
hope that. Yes, we are looking forward for this positive events, because as of now it seems like quite sad moments. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, so you moved out of Ukraine before the war, or?
Yes. I
Oh,
have moved. I moved to the UK 8 years ago, actually.
okay.
Yeah, so but basically my company, the idea of my Agritech company has appeared when I lived in Ukraine.
Okay.
And it was appeared because of the need to get the tools for plant phenotyping, the accurate plant phenotyping and measuring of the plants.
Okay.
This was the first step towards AI in agriculture, and I will explain it a little bit.
Okay. So I mean, like I mean, like before the war, I mean, like, were you spending time in Ukrainian agricultural farms? Or like, was that?
Yes, sure.
Okay.
It was very ground-based experience, because actually I was born in quite a small town.
I know most of the places. Which place in Ukraine?
It's called Priluki. It is in Chernigiv region, next to the
Okay.
Belarus border.
Belarus border.
So,
Okay.
for ordinary people from international community, it sounds like in the middle of nowhere, because my
Of
town
course.
is so small.
Mhm.
But this was the benefit for me, because I saw in my real life, in my experience, I saw how the crops are grown, and I saw the comparison of smallholder farming, how the farmers in family style setups were growing their crops, and also I was able to see the industrial farming, because next to the major roads in Ukraine, you will see huge fields which are owned by agri holdings with thousands of hectares, and they are growing crops like sunflower, like corn, like sugar beet, and other crops which are cash crops for export. They exporting then to to Europe and to other countries, and this is one of the most profitable agriculture streams in Ukraine for growing crops for the export.
Okay. Wonderful. So I think it's about time. Yeah, you please enjoy your coffee, and everybody. This is like tea time for this part of the world. So guys, you can grab your coffee, you can grab your tea mugs, because this is going to be a
Sure.
very interesting session. So, hi everyone. I'm officially starting this masterclass. My name is Saurabh Gupta. I am the CEO of Edorer, and today we have one of the most amazing speakers and leaders in the agriculture domain, Dr. Maryna Kuzmenko. I'll also make an official introduction about her, but before that, just giving you a little heads up. I'm sure a lot of you already know about the format of the masterclass. In this masterclass, it's basically going to be a 60-minute session from Dr. Kuzmenko. Then she will be open to Q&A. For the Q&A, you can ask your questions. You can post your questions in the question tab, or you can also post it under Q&A and also in the chat. We will pick each and every question. Hopefully, we should be able to do that. Pick each and every question and we'll answer. And if you want to really ask the question in person, I'll be happy to put you in the spotlight and you can ask that in person with the audio and the video, or just the audio. It's up to you. So you can take a choice there. Let me quickly introduce Dr. Kuzmenko here, sharing my screen. We've got a little presentation, a deck founder. Okay, so here we have our wonderful speaker, Dr. Maryna Kuzmenko. Dr. Maryna Kuzmenko is a serial entrepreneur and the CEO of Petiole. Am I pronouncing it correctly? Petiole? How do you pronounce it?
Yeah, that's correct. Thank you so much, Saurabh. That's correct. Absolutely fine. Correct. Petiole.
It's a UK-based company that brings AI to agriculture, forestry, and aquaculture. So it's basically an agri-tech. Her journey as an ag-tech leader began after relocating from Ukraine to the United Kingdom, where she shifted her focus from governmental roles to the business dynamics of agricultural technology. With over 10 years of experience in this niche, Maryna has played a pivotal role in managing partnerships and presenting Petiole at global agtech events in the UK, Belgium, and the Netherlands, so typically the European market. She has been recognized for her contributions to the field, notably as a winner of Global Alliance Africa Innovation Exchange Challenge and a pre-selected participant in the Women in Agritech Global Business Innovation Program, which was facilitated by Innovate UK. Dr. Kuzmenko is certified in environmental management by the IEMA. Driven by her commitment to ESG principles, she co-founded the educational initiative Hello Sustainability to promote sustainable business practices and the implementation of AI technologies in a sustainable global way. So I think that's essentially what the topic of today's masterclass is. We want to understand how do we implement the latest technologies, AI, and everything else, which is so contemporary in today's agriculture, and we call it digital agriculture or modern agriculture. And there are way more advanced practices that have been implemented. So, Dr. Kuzmenko, the floor is all yours. You can share your screen if you want. The permissions have been given. And we look forward to the session.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Saurabh, for such a kind introduction. And just give me a second, please. I will share my screen with everyone in our call. So it will be visible, all my notes and all my preparations. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, it's loading for most of us. Yes, we can see that. Wonderful.
Okay, thank you so much. So yes, basically, and this is our main topic, what we will speak now for the next 60 minutes, but I hope it will not be boring, and I will do my best to make this experience insightful and positive for you, with some outcomes in your memories. So you will understand how to operate the phrase AI in agriculture and how to use it correctly. So firstly, we will have our foundation reminder, then we will speak a little bit about case studies. It's a real practice which is applying different parts of artificial intelligence for soil and crop health monitoring. And finally, we will have the Q&A session to speak about your interests and about answer your questions. So let's go. Thank you so much again for a nice presentation of myself to Saurabh. And basically, yes, all the information which he summarized that's correct. And I just want to add a little bit more that I have some ground-based experience, which I got living in Ukraine, but for more than 8 years, I already live in the UK. So it gave me some insights which are available for multiplying and understanding how complex is the agriculture industry in different countries all around the world, which I visited and which I read about. So our today's masterclass will be built on this agenda. We will, first of all, speak about the basics of what is AI, and we will speak about the technologies and about the key tools which are used for creating this AI magic, let's say. Then we will dive a little deeper into the trends for soil monitoring. And also we will speak about the crop health monitoring as one of the widest areas for applying artificial intelligence in agriculture. And also, finally, we will just summarize and find the outcome conclusions of our today's session to be ready to answer your questions. But I want to start, as usual, one of the most traditional advice to provide numbers. So I think these numbers are quite familiar for you, because these are the numbers which are spread around the world by the Food and Agriculture Organization. This is the body which is responsible for all the food and agriculture security policy all around the world. And they are saying that in 2050, we will have around 10 billion people on the earth. And this means that all these people would like to have fresh and healthy food 3 times a day. And accordingly, this means that someone must grow this food, because yes, we deeply believe in the possibility of artificial food. At the same time, the main and the highest nutritional value and the highest value at all is the food which is grown in normal natural conditions. And one more striking number is that 70% of these people who will be in 2050, they will live in the cities. So that also means that we need to make farming as efficient as possible, because the less people would like to be involved in agriculture and would like to make their hands dirty into the soil, dirt, and other components of traditional agriculture. And that's why we are speaking today here. But also I would like to highlight my goal, why I will actually we still are not on the Mars, and we are the humanity is doing attempts to be there, but either on Earth or on Mars or on any other planet in this universe, the knowledge which you will get today in this masterclass, it will be helpful, because believe me or not, but the AI is the same. And even if you will analyze the images which the NASA getting from Mars, they are still using the same cameras as their farmers are using in their fields to get the measurements and to get the information about their crops. So it's nothing special. It's the same technologies which are applying in different manner. So welcome, and we will start. First of all, regarding the importance, probably after these slides, you already understand the importance of AI now, but I want to highlight 2 main areas where the application of innovative technologies like artificial intelligence is important. First of all, it's about the sustainability, because it requires extra hours to speak about climate change, which we are experiencing now. At the same time, farming is directly linked to climate change. So if we will contribute less emissions, and if we will not destroy the ecosystems of rivers and water flows, it will be positive for everyone. That's why artificial intelligence have a purpose to help agriculture to be more sustainable. And simultaneously, we have the second stream in this importance level. It's all about the access to the data about plants, about their feelings, about their they experiencing in living in this environment which we have for them. So it's all about the detection, analysis, and providing the feedback from plants. And speaking about the benefits of modern agriculture and AI in agriculture, it's important to mention 4 key. It's all about the precision, it's all about the efficiency, it's also all about the economics. And this is very important to say because we all know that everything starts with money and it has to be based on precision calculation. That's why today I will demonstrate you some technologies which are emerging, but they are promising in terms of saving money for growers. And finally, what I want to provide you on a general level, it's a little bit of historical background, because we must understand, if we would like to use artificial intelligence, we need to understand that it's not something which appeared yesterday in the news. It was something which has started many, many years ago, dozens of years ago, actually. This is the timeline of first part, and here you can see when the basics of computer science has been started in the 1950s. And the same parallel area, the agriculture started to be more automated, or let's say semi-automated. It became to be more efficient and more data-driven, but the resources which were used for getting data were not so good as we have now. For example, you can see here the tensiometer, and this was the tool, and it is a tool. You can use it even now. It's the tool to measure the moisture level in the soil. At the same time, the inefficient moment is that it's not scalable. So you have put your one instrument, and you cannot measure the same moisture level in next plot, or you can't transfer it all the time to different locations. So this was the limit which existed at that period of life. At the same time, after the discovered and created in 1990s, the digital technology started slowly come into the agriculture. And probably all you know the company which is providing one of the largest providers of agriculture machinery, John Deere. So on the right hand side of the screen, you can see the first GPS tracker which they used in their tractor cabin, and it was a huge leap ahead, because before the tractor was just moving around the field and there was no chance to understand the trajectory and to plan anything. But then when GPS tractor, it was one of the steps for revolution. And now we are living in that period of life, and it started already 14 years ago, when we are deploying various tools to get data about the state of crops, and this data can be used for making the efficient decisions what to do next and what to apply next. So basically about these all words which create the buzz around. So probably everyone have heard a lot about drones and about satellites and about all this machine learning stuff, but it's not clear how do they link to each other. So the easiest structure to remember how all they are linked need to be the following. You have the data collection tools, then you have the technologies which are processing this data, and then you have the data integration part. Let's focus on each of these components in more details. So first of all, data collection tools. In this diagram, you can see the level. We are using height as a main criteria. So the top level of data collection tool is already satellite, which is flying around the planet. You understand the scale of the data which it can capture, its huge scale. At the same time, there are the problems of satellite imagery that, first of all, available imagery is not always precisely good and accurate. The resolution is quite high and you can't go to very small scale. And the second thing is that privately held satellites, they capture in very good and very high quality imagery. At the same time, it costs a lot. So, but currently the satellite imagery is one of the top resources where you can get the information, the data about specific vegetation cover or any other information about the earth cover which is available. The second level is slightly lower, maybe say a lot of lower. It's about unmanned aerial vehicles. So it's UAVs. Sorry for abbreviation, but it's all about drones are just one of the type of UAVs, but they are widely used for agriculture. And you know, probably the main applications, it's all about the collecting data about imagery of crops which are grown either in fields, in big, huge fields traditionally, or it can be an orchard with apples or with peaches or with pears, whatever fruit you are grown, but it's all about the size of the field and size of the plot. So it's quite large distances and lots of visual data collected. The lower level is the mobile devices, and the mobile devices, it can be either a smartphone as a data collection tool, or it can be a tablet as a data collection tool. And they are also beneficial because sometimes drones or other unmanned aerial vehicles, they can't collect the data for example, for pests. There are pests which are hidden under the leaves. So with disease detection, sometimes it's okay to have drone flight, but for some pests, when they are hiding behind or hiding in the canopy, it's very difficult to detect them and to see the number of pest infestation, to understand it. So that's why ground truth data, which is collected using mobile phones and the tablets, are one of the methods how to support the imagery which you are collecting from the drones. And finally, one of the popular data collection tools, and we will speak about this a lot, it's IoT sensors, so Internet of Things sensors. I think in the next slide it will be the description of this, because apologies for using abbreviations, I just use it, forgot that we need firstly to introduce you to the full term. So I mean that IoT sensors, it's all about the getting information about the environment, about the soil state, about the temperature, about what other parameters you need, like humidity, dew point, wind. For these purposes, you are using the sensors which are not collecting imagery. You can't collect imagery with the sensors for soil, but you can collect other parameters and then just use all these layers to create the full picture of what you have. Yes, and I also wanted to show you this nice diagram which was created by one of the scientific research groups. They have classified a little bit differently the remote sensing tools, and as you can see, they also demonstrated possibility, not just simple cameras. It's one of the most traditional approach and one of the cheapest approach to use the RGB camera to collect the imagery data about crops. Also show that it's possible to use hyperspectral cameras and also multispectral cameras. They help to get even more information about the crops which are grown, and because of their ability to capture the spectrum which is invisible for human eye, big camera which we have, for example, in a smartphone. And this, yes, of Internet of Things. Again, this is one of the main concepts. It demonstrates the possibilities which IoT opens. For example, if so today we will speak mainly about the crops and soils, but if you are interested in post-harvest assessment and post-harvest quality assurance, and you need to have the traceability of your product and tracking of your food produce, it's all about IoT and about the QR codes, about the scanners, about the transitions between stages, and basically supply chain management. It's mainly based on the IoT solutions, and it's not so frequently to use too much machine learning, let's say, in this type of management. About the operational work. For operational work, IoT is one of the helpful methodologies which can be used. So this was the part about the data collection tools. And this was the data collection tools which are working, using, and producing data as a result. But what we can do with data, what shall we do with data, especially if we have lots of data? This is the point where the technologies, key technologies, are entering on the stage. And I would like to start with the first one, which is machine learning. And here you can see just 3 examples of what machine learning can do. So firstly, it's all about the crop yield prediction. Then you can detect diseases and pests using machine learning. And again, soil health analysis is based on the information which is processed by machine learning algorithms. At the same time, I want to highlight that maybe you have heard the phrase deep learning. Frankly speaking, it's different, but the difference is so small for ordinary people that we will not dive into it. But in main applications, machine learning and deep learning is approximately the same. Just the deep learning is more complex and more sophisticated. For machine learning, you traditionally have 1 or 2 layers of information, and you just interlink them, and you get some outcome based on the applying algorithms for that data. But for deep learning, it's much more complex, and it's include not just work with specific type of data, but it's data of different parameters and different layers. So that's why deep learning is always much more complicated in comparison with simple machine learning. Then, as I mentioned, disease detection and pest detection, it's the feature which can be applicable only in conjunction with computer vision. Computer vision is one of the areas, it's a huge area of artificial intelligence technologies, which helps to work with imagery. So it's all about when you have something, some image, some photo, and then you would like to get some information out of this photo. And here I put some examples of within pest identification again, and you can do also monitoring of crop health. It's all about the camera, which is playing role of eyes, and these eyes are collecting the data, and then the computer vision algorithm is thinking about this data, is assessing this data. So that's why computer vision is in very frequent cases, computer vision is goes together with machine learning or deep learning. The other thing which is already mentioned is about Internet of Things and about the possibility of track and trace products and your food produce. Then it's very interesting and emerging technology which is promising, robotics and automation. And one of the areas where robotics and automation is helpful is harvesting as well as planting, where the mechanical routine actions are prevailing, and you do not need to do a lot of decisions. So basically, application of robotics and automation is helpful where you do not need to make a lot of decisions, and it's already at the same time. For advanced level, it's one of the hottest topics now. It's, for example, self-driving tractors. There are lots of decisions which must be made during the road of this tractor, and when it's moving and applying, let's say, spraying or whatever operation is it doing. But this level is still ongoing, and we have some interesting, promising experiments, both commercial and in academical level. At the same time, there is no so widespread adoption, and we will speak about the problems why there is not so widespread adoption yet. And yeah, by the way, robotics and automation is helpful as well for the targeted agrochemical application, for example, herbicides or fertilizers or any other chemical which you need to apply. It's also possible to automate it and robotize it, and it helps not just in terms of saving the inputs, your agriculture inputs, but also about the saving the nature and making less contamination of the nature. The very interesting point is big data analytics, because what we are seeing is that you have data, you are working with data, and machine learning is processing your data, but sometimes the amount of data is so huge. It's not just gigabytes, it's about terabytes per day. And then when you have this huge amount of data, you need to separate these data streams, and you need still to use it, not just to waste it. And that's why big data analytics is that methodology which helps to work with large amount of agriculture data generated from the field or any other growing setup. And finally, I would like to highlight one more emerging area. It's natural language processing. And probably you have seen application of this in other areas of life. For example, everyone is speaking about developing chatbots and possibility to make your own chatbot. Yes, so it's possible to do the same for agriculture purposes. And moreover, there is the same opportunity for summarizing and generation of summaries for agriculture news and reports, and for example, creating voice-controlled interfaces which are existing in home-based level. For example, Alexa is one of the home-based tools for work, and it's a real application of artificial intelligence in home life. At the same time, it will be possible to use the voice-controlled voice commands and voice-controlled interfaces for agriculture operations in the future, based on these advancements which we have already now in our routine life. So just a lot of demonstration. Now let's go back to the field. So I would like to show you some examples of real life application and how it goes before and after. So on the left hand side, you can see the disease detection and how it works. So firstly, you have the image at the entry and the answer at the outcome. You get the specific disease which has been identified. Or for example, in the middle of the screen, you can see the detection of the fruits on the trees, and this helps to provide better yield analysis and provide the yield forecast for growers. And finally, this is my proud screen, because it's one of our screens from Petiole Pro. It's plant phenotyping and application of computer vision technologies for measuring leaves and understanding crop health. Also, I wanted to show you the examples of robotics And as I mentioned, they are already, the attempts to apply them are existing on both academical and industrial levels. So at the same time, the problem which we have discovered is that application creation of one robot is not the same as creation of 100 robots, or at least 10 robots. And it's all about the possibility to maintain their work proper, and also about the costs. Because, for example, it's very easy to demonstrate how the concept works and create a huge, well-cost robot which has, let's say, LiDAR inside. LiDAR is one of the technologies which helps to get orientation in the space. And for example, if you have LiDAR, you can just walk around. Well, let's say your robot is walking around, looking at the tree, and it can provide information about the weight, size, and other parameters of the fruits on the tree. So it's just amazing. It's just nice to have, and everyone would like to get it. It's very good for yield prediction and for other planning stuff. At the same time, the LiDAR costs dozens of pounds, thousands pounds. I mean, 10,000 pounds is the cheapest one which were available. I checked a few days ago. So that's why it's not affordable. And this is the problem of practical robotics and theoretical robotics. When on the theory level, it's okay to have it, and it seems like it's working, but on the practical level, it's just impossible to produce in the number more than one, because the company which is producing will be a bankrupt actually. But yes, we are slowly going towards the other topic, which is one of the most important ones. It's about the challenges of application of artificial intelligence in agriculture, and costs. As I mentioned, you can see the first and the most important one aspect is provided here. At the same time, I would like to highlight another limitation. It's all about the technical knowledge. It seems like everyone knows what is, let's say, drone or any other type of sensor. Everyone have heard about that and know the drone is flying above the sky. At the same time, it's not so easy to fly drone, and not just fly and go back safely, but also to collect data. You need to have specific routes. You need to know how to regulate the speed, the haste, the data capture. All these skills and knowledge, it's not so easily obtained. You can't read just a book and be a professional in this. So that's why it's very important to have proper technical training and knowledge about any of these technologies which I mentioned. Either it's data collection tools or it's the technologies. It doesn't mean that you cannot do this. Yes, you can. You can always find the manual, find the guideline, and even this masterclass which we have today, it's one of the ways how to get into the industry, how to get more niche information about application of these innovative tools. At the same time, we need to understand that for now, and as of now, it's not so easy to use these advanced level applications and tools for people who have never have a touch of them. And also, going back, sorry. And now also I want to highlight two more aspects. The second aspect we already discussed is about the handling large volumes of data. It's on practical level, just to show you that if you are recording the video from your orchard, let's say, and you put GoPro camera next to your tractor, you have collected the recording of the row with your, let's say, plant apple trees, and then you need to bring this data into the office, join your camera to the computer, transfer at least a few gigabytes of data into the cloud. Then from the cloud, it will take time to process it. So, you know, it requires a lot of manipulation and a lot of steps. And that's why handling huge amount of agriculture data is also an issue. That's why one of the most innovative methods is edge processing, when the data is processed exactly on the device. For example, if you are working with smartphone, you just take your image, upload it, and then get the result. And you are not sending terabytes of data into the cloud and getting it back. And final point regarding the challenges of implementation AI into the agriculture is about the ethical issues and ethical standards. First of all, it's about data privacy. What we see now, and it's one of the trends, unfortunately, that farmers, they don't want to share the data with third-party providers. And because sometimes the solution provider is the government. And, you know, not so many people would like to share full data with the authorities, and this creates some gap between the real farmers who are growing and they want still have some digitalization of their processes, as well as those who are just closing everything and locking the ability to share the data. And the second issue is impact on employment. As of now, it's not so huge and it's not so visible that AI machines and algorithms can substitute the humans in the agriculture processes, because still there are points like maintenance of robots, control of robots, and other aspects of agriculture operations where humans are important. At the same time, we don't know what will happen in 50 years. So that's why we need to be ready. And currently, the trend is that AI is a supportive tool. So it's not replacing you in your work. You are agronomist, for example, and AI can't swap you and just go away. No, you need to use AI as a tool and helpful, one more brain, one more eye, a pair of eye, to get the information about your crops. But what we'll see what will be in future. And yes, now let's go slowly to our interesting points regarding the specific application of AI for soil monitoring. And then we will go also to the crop monitoring, crop health monitoring. And I would like firstly to, I understand that we are lack of time a little bit, so 30 minutes of speaking make you a little bit bored. So I wanted to show you a British joke. Probably not all people will understand it, but I will be happy if you understand that. Now we are switching to soil, and this is how we will start. Again, soil monitoring. I decided not to dive into the basics of soil monitoring using sensors, but go straight to the problems which we have. And currently, the main problems are based on the accuracy, based on the availability, and based on the consistency of data which we have. And speaking in specific topics and words, it's all about the different standards which are applying for soil assessment. And if you would like to get information from your field to understand to monitor the soil health and monitoring the soil state, it's always recommended to create your own protocol of soil state measurement and soil compositing, because obviously soil is such a complex matter of life that you can't measure everything, especially without proper lab equipment. At the same time, knowing the status of soil is such an important aspect of your farming practice that you need to have it. You need to have at least one or two parameters. as much as you can get, you need to get, because this will impact on what fertilizers you will apply. This will impact on the amount of water. So irrigation planning will be based on the soil type and on the soil features which are available in your specific plot. And finally, also speaking about the soil, it's very important to have at least some consistency in measurements, in units which are you applying to understand the soil health. And now I would like to show you the specific example. And this is actually the research paper which was recently published by the Spanish researchers. And since the main problem of soil monitoring is its price and time consumption, that when you are taking the soil sample, then you are transferring it to the laboratory, then you are getting the results. It costs money, quite a lot of money. And then you can't do it on every plot because it costs a lot of money. And the final thing is time. And soil, it's like a life structure. It changes over and over again because the weather is changing due to climate change, and the wind, the precipitation, the other frost and other natural environmental changes are impacting soil. And also organic matter is impacting, that fertilizers which you're applying, it's all impacting. So that's why in ideal case, you need to have the soil monitoring test. It's traditional practice to have it once in a year. At the same time, if you are growing high value crop, it's better to have it on monthly basis. At the same time, going back, it's all about money. So it depends on how much are you ready to invest into soil sampling. That's why, going back to our case study, just a second. So this case study is one of the most interesting because the scientists have created the soil analysis kit exactly in the field. And this is basically the idea of ideal situation when you have some instrument, some tool which helps you to assess your soil components and soil structure exactly in the field, so you do not need to send it somewhere else. And basically you see the real structure of this invention, and you can see where the sample is putting in, and you can see the sensor system, how it works, and also you have the graphical representation of the same sensor, so you can understand how it works. So it's all about the non-destructive, non-invasive assessment of soil status. And this is one, as I mentioned, this is one of the very important aspects for assessment of soil state. It's all about non-invasive possibility, because it's quite relatively easy when you have this laboratory with lots of different equipments, and you can analyze any aspect of the soil matter which you have in your sample. At the same time, if you are in the field, you don't have all of these materials which you have in the lab, then you need just to limit yourself and work with as much as possible using non-invasive methodology, and the optical methods are one of the best for this purpose. At the same time, yes, by the way, all the research papers are available through QR code. You can just scan it, and most of them are in open access, so you can read it freely in spare time. And in this research paper, which I mentioned, it's very important to understand that scientists already highlighted their limitations, because they understand that their creation is very innovative, and it's one of the significant for creating this revolution of soil analysis. At the same time, the limitations which I mentioned before, they're still present here. It's all about the standardization and about some specific step guideline and basics how to work. The second case study is also very interesting, but it's interesting from a different angle, let's say. This research group also created the soil sensor, but they created they actually explained the full cycle of how it works. Because in previous example, we had this specific kit, and we had a deep explanation of content of it, of Arduino elements, why Arduino was selected, not that one. So it's a good analysis in parts of components of the soil analysis kit. At the same time, in this case study, it was interesting to see how the researchers demonstrate the full chain of important pieces to get the information from soil, as you see on the left-hand side, to the consumer mobile app. Actually, this is the farmer mobile app, or grower mobile app, or researcher mobile app. It's all about the bringing that terabytes of data, or maybe even gigabytes, but still you're bringing the information from field to the person who is making the decision. And this is the main important thing, that we must provide only that information which is important for making decision in specific case. You should not overload the researcher or the grower with extra numbers, zeros, I don't know, units. There are no need of that. They're busy people in busy life. You need just to provide information which is important for decision making regarding their crops and soil health. So I hope after these two examples, you understand and you see the three keywords which I want to mention about possibility to get the soil monitoring test. It's about the scalability, that you can use it everywhere, and it's about the accuracy. As of now, the first two aspects are actually pretty good, let's say, and it's possible to do this in an affordable way, to create the soil health monitoring kit and scale it, as you can see in the latest case study. At the same time, regarding accuracy and regarding the standardization, it's still quite a gap, quite an open area for discoveries. So maybe this will be the area where you can bring some positive change. Again, a little bit of smile now, because I understand that I spoke 15 minutes more. So, and yeah, I see we have just a few more minutes to continue with our crop health monitoring, but this topic is also very important and interesting. So this joke, the previous joke, was from the UK, British humor, and this humor is from America, because as we know, they are one of the largest growers of corn or maize. It's the same actually, yeah, and they love popcorn, as everyone loving the cinema. So, but also this joke demonstrates the possibility of application of artificial intelligence, specifically for haze measurement. So this is one of the aspects. Haze measurement is one of the aspects of crop health measurement, and this is what we will speak about next. And I want to say, just again, remind you that all these research papers are available to read. And I want to go straight away to the research which I have checked and prepared. So it will be a few case studies which will give you some interesting ideas how the AI works for industries. And first of all, we will speak about viticulture. Viticulture is the area of crop science which is researching the grapes, vines, and so everything which is related with wine crop. And this is the research which has been conducted by the, again, Spanish researchers, so Spain. And by the way, Spain, quite good results in China. You will see a lot of Chinese research papers recently published. I hope we will have time for that. So the main target, the main purpose of this research was to provide yield prediction based on the imagery collected in the vine orchard, and then this imagery was analyzed, and this was the interesting thing, that you can see the pipeline, how the imagery was analyzed and what steps has been done. So basically, on the right hand side, you can see the machine learning in action. So it's all about this step-by-step action which you need to do with data to get the result. And what is good regarding this research is that actually they found the number of berries per vine. So vine is just one plant, and also they were able to calculate the total amount of berries for all vine plants. And also very important thing, that they were collecting the data when the vines and grapes were on the pea size, was very small. And important aspect, for example, the vines which are pea size small, it's quite high probability that the imagery will be just a mess. So that's why in most cases, because you need to have not a huge distance from the object which you are collecting imagery from, especially if you are the smaller object you need to detect, the closer you need to be to it. And one more very interesting aspect which I wanted to mention, that in this case, the researchers, they had 6 varieties of vines. And this is one of the important things for your future research and studies, that if you have the more diversity you have in your data, the better. For example, if you have 1,000 leaves, and then just 100 leaves are, it's not a very good data. You demonstrate that 90% of leaves are healthy and just 10% have disease. So your algorithm will not be knowledgeable about variety of the diseases present on this type of leaves. But for example, if you have 900 leaves with disease, it's quite good, because if you will compare 2 leaves with disease, they are not the same. There are no the same objects in the nature. And that's why here you see the researchers, even now visually you're assessing the image on the right hand side, you see the angle of leaves are different, the other aspects of their state of these vines are different. So this all populates the data set with more variety, and machine learning likes variety. So that's why, please, if you have a chance, always try to find more opportunities, more angles, more colors, more everything, if you would like to have the proper data set, because mono set is not a good idea. Then also I wanted to show you this nice setup which the researchers used for data collection. And one of the interesting questions which I like to ask my audience is always, why do you think they are doing this at night? But I understand that we are lack of time, so probably, yes, we are very short on time. So I will answer it now. You see, they are doing it at night because of segmentation. What is segmentation? Segmentation is the process when you are dividing the background and the object which you would like to measure or to highlight or to count. And in this case, the leaves and also the grapes, these pea-sized grapes, are the objects which they want to analyze. And they don't need the noise, which that's why they set up the collection at night. So it's already dark background. They are creating the artificial light beam, ordinary light, and they are collecting, probably there is no information here, just 30 centimeters from the vine plant. They are quite close, possible to see. And as you see on this C berry scent, the berry contour. It's they were able to separate the every berry, and they were able to proper segmentate these berries from the background. But let's go further. Yes, and by the way, important thing regarding the outcome, they were able to forecast the yield of berries 60 days in advance. And for example, if the grape have the life cycle of 8 months, so you need to have proper 8 months to grow the yield of berries. Then you grape berries, sorry. But I mean that they are in advance for 2 months already, and this brings a good timeline for growers. So it's possible to manage labor, manage transfer logistics, and other important stuff to make the farming profitable. The next thing where I wanted to show you how the computer vision helps with specific tasks. It's my proud case. It was published. This research paper was drafted and published by the Canadian scientists. It's a big research group, and they were doing plant breeding research. And actually, it's also one of the important emerging areas for climate change adaptation, when we are trying to improve the existing crops and help them to adapt to drought, to frost, to other negative stresses which they have, abiotic or biotic stress which they have because of the climate change. And actually, this research paper was about drought stress tolerance for alfalfa. And why it's the pride for me, because first of all, it was published in Frontiers in Plant Science. This is the top one scientific journal for plant scientists all around the world. And the second thing, they directly mentioned my mobile application where I'm working, and this is my project and product, Petiole Pro. So if you are doing any plant phenotyping research, you're welcome to try, because this is a free mobile application, and it helps you to measure leaf area, leaf greenness, and also size of the leaf. So we are trying to get as much data into your hands as possible. Yes, and then I also wanted to show you another opportunity where the machine learning can be helpful. And this case is from China, by the way, and this case shows the opportunity to use drone for data collection, and you can see the results of data collection from the plots. So it was 200 plots, and then machine learning was deployed to create the forecasting, because actually the data collected by drones was not enough. So the scientists have applied the split merge framework, which I mentioned, and they artificially enlarged the data set, and this helped them to decrease the error of this was helpful for further research of yield prediction technologies on this data set, which was quite limited. Another interesting case about, again, wheat, but this time it's all about the wheat disease detection. Wheat rust is one of the most crucially economically important diseases, and that's why scientists trying to recognize this disease using various techniques, and one of them was using the specifics of machine learning. And this case, I want to highlight that scientists collected very good data set. As you understand already probably from all these demonstrations, it's about imagery collected in field, collected for the different varieties, collected in healthy plants and in plants with disease. And in this case, the data set included not just the wheat rust from the specific location, but also it included a global database. And actually this database is available. So if you are looking just to see and feel how does it work, you can try it and use it for your purposes if you work with wheat, and specifically, for example, with wheat trust. But this is important to show that their data set, it included not just the rust disease, but also the other diseases which can be present on wheat. And this is important to know that when you are trying to train the model, it's a nice idea, as I mentioned, to have it diversity, but also to have diversity of diseases as well, not just healthy and unhealthy, but also unhealthy and the variety of diseases which can happen with specific crop. And then even if you will not train the model to be able to detect this disease, but at least the model will be flexible enough to identify the main disease which you have in your focus. Oh, sorry. This means it was my reminder, but that I mean hurry up because the time is short and time flies. Yes, and by the way, I want to finalize this crop case study with just demonstration on how different the data sets can be. So on the left-hand side, you can see not just image, but also it's already the data labeled image, and you can see the size measured, which is available. So this is how the outcome of machine learning work exists and how it looks like. Also, I wanted to demonstrate you one more probably example, but in very quick case. It's again a little bit about wheat, but also about rye. And again, the scientists were using drone imagery, but this time it's very interesting that they were not identifying disease, or they were not doing the yield prediction. In this case, they were assessing the crop health. So basically, they applied agri-chemicals, and they have control plants. And they wanted to assess the efficiency of applying fertilizers. And basically, as you see in the description, they provide all the information about the fertilizers they applied. So they made the data collection on different stages of experiment, and collection on different stages of plant growth, because, by the way, it's very important that you are planning your data collection for not just that stage when you have everything visible and everything overlapped. Try to do it on regular basis as much as possible. So on every vegetation stage, it's better to get at least some data, and it will be demonstrating some progress, and you will be able to build the historical outcome of your monitoring. And yes, this is the nice demonstration of how the pipeline looked like. And also one of the good results of this research is that the accuracy of their work was over 75%. And this is important aspect to know, that everything below 75, it sounds like a little bit not yet ready. But if the accuracy of algorithm is 75 or more, it means that that you did a good job, and the accuracy is available implementation, and it's reliable. And finally, I wanted to show you this nice imagery, and this again, it's all from the research paper which I have mentioned. And you also can see that the data set is not homogeneous. So it's not the same plant taken 6 times, that the data set is taken from different heights, different angles, and separately, individually by plant, as well as, or even if we other parameters, it can be stayed from horizontal way and see the perspective. And finally, yes, this is one of the case studies, which are quite short, but I wanted to highlight them as well. And then we'll go to the questions. So why this is important? Because it demonstrates the unity of soil monitoring as well as unity of crop monitoring. And as you understand already that crop health widely depends on the soil state. At the same time, to show you how it works, in reality, it's, for example, the case when the German government, they sponsored the building of a municipal solid waste plant in Afghanistan. And then this solid waste plant has produced the compost. And compost was used for growing crops. So the scientists from 2 universities were assessing the results. Is it safe? Is it proper to grow the food production on that compost? And basically for soil testing, they used the laboratory test. They sent the soil from Afghanistan to Germany and did the laboratory test. But for crop monitoring, they again used the mobile application, and they discovered, it's very interesting points, that their discovery from the research are touching not just crop health analysis, but also the soil content. Yes, this is the last one, and now we are just finalizing everything in one world cloud. I think that if we speak about the application of artificial intelligence in crop health monitoring and soil health monitoring, these words are the most important one. You see, it's all about the possibility to use it everywhere and in wide basis. At the same time, I understand that as of now, they are written in the proper font and the same font, but obviously some of them are more important than others. So you will select what is more important for you. And as a final slide, I want to show you the 3 companies which I admire, and this is the companies which I believe bring some interesting outcomes of their work. So if you would like to stay updated regarding the most advanced level of application for artificial intelligence in crop agriculture, you're more than welcome just to find more about these companies. Thank you so much. And yes, Saurabh, I'm ready to answer all the questions which I have.
Wonderful. This was really a great session. If you want to, I think, guys, if you really want Maryna's email, it's already shown on the screen. You can connect with her on LinkedIn to reach out to her. Okay, let me have my cup of tea as well. And you can reach out to her. Let me tell you, Maryna, this was so engaging. And how do you actually figure out how a webinar is actually engaging, people are really liking it? You go to the comments, and you can see literally throughout this webinar, people were posting, they were giving their comments, they were talking about different companies who do the same thing or similar thing in India. They're also talking about every other aspect or the slide that you were showing. So I think it was a great session. Now, guys, we quickly jump on to the Q&A. We have good 30 minutes. Is that what we have, Maryna?
Yes, sure. We can stay and dance. And then, Saurabh, as you correctly mentioned, we are, I am on LinkedIn, so I am more than happy to answer any question on the LinkedIn. We can just continue our discussion over there. So let's stay for the next 15 minutes at least. Oh yeah, 15 minutes or even 20 minutes, I think. So
okay.
Let's go.
No, we understand we have to wrap it up, wrap it by 7. Okay, guys. So Maryna, what you can do is you have the Q&A opening. I think,
Yes.
I spotted a good question by Amandeep Kaur, and her question is, how do we get the data sets for agriculture soil? I mean, like, how do we do that?
That's very nice question because, yeah, thank you so that. And I think this
Do
is
you want
what.
to stop sharing your screen so that we can have you?
Just
Below me,
I see another questions on the top. Just try to find this exactly about the I see the algorithm, I see the I2, practical soil health management. I just can't find about this data, but I can answer. I can answer just
yeah, sure. Go ahead. It's in the Q&A. It's not the Q&A,
question.
it's in the chat actually. Yeah.
Regarding the data sets, it's not very, but still it's possible. And question I will probably make a link. I made a comment for myself to bring more information about sets for these purposes. But currently, you are just, what is the first to find the data set for specific goals or tasks? You go to this research paper, which I mentioned, and you are reading the part about data sharing. So traditionally, researchers, they are providing information about the data sets in a separate part of their research paper. And they provide the either address, it's a web address, it's some repository or some other place where you can download the data set, or sometimes they provide the email address where you can contact about permission to reach their database. But sometimes also it's useful to have a look at the website. It's a platform called Kaggle. Kaggle is the platform for data science. So you will find lots of data sets there, and it's not about just soil or disease. It's one of the popular in agriculture are the data sets for disease. At the same time, you can find lots of others, and you can see the real-time challenges, because Kaggle, they organize data science challenges, and even you can get the results already of challenges of the past. So I highly recommend you to go to Kaggle and start your journey over there to understand how to work with data sets, where to find them, and find other interesting insights. Thank you. And I'm now in
Talking
Q&A.
about data, I mean, like we will also talk about one of the, we keep doing a lot of boot camps, and one of the upcoming boot camps that we have is on data science and business analytics, and a lot of agriculture students have actually shown interest. So now you understand, guys, like how important it is for you to understand data. Like for instance, Kaggle is not just for agriculture students or researchers, it's basically for anybody and everybody who's interested in data science and data sets. So yes, that's a great resource, but I'm sure there are others too. Yeah, please go ahead. Do you want to pick another question?
Yes, sure. I see lots of them. So I will start with the first one from Raju, which is I see clearly. Please explain the use of artificial intelligence for natural farming. This is quite interesting question, because it seems like artificial intelligence is not natural farming, because it's all about machines and technique application, and the natural farming is something which is, I believe, Raju means farming. I hope so. So actually the application is wide, and the main aspect of using AI for agriculture is farming as sustainable and as good as possible. So conventional farming is using AI, but our goal is to create a situation when the machine learning algorithm helps to keep soil with less chemicals, which are not very good for health. And this is the ideal picture, when all these robots, drones, are helping to grow efficient and grow sustainable food produce. Okay, then the next question is how effectively we can use AI in case to create vegetable gardens or floriculture in rural areas. Effectiveness is one of the individual features. You know, it depends on the area, it depends on factors. That's why how effective. what is the problem of now? Again, I'm speaking as of now because I believe in a few years it will be easier because the technologies are moving on so quickly that it will be easier to bring the AI to rural areas. But as of now, it requires investment. And for example, if we speak about the AI for rural areas, we always meet with the question of data processing. So in data of your, let's say, in and then you want to process the number of flower berries or the ripeness of berries, then you need to data exactly on your phone, send it to the cloud, to the data internet. This sometimes is charged. So for rural areas, percent sure that it's so, but this is how it is. And I don't want to create you pink clouds and speak about unicorns and everything like that. It's the reality of life that as of now thing. Then the next question about what are jobs, roles, can we get job in your company or not? Actually, my company, all of, so just follow it if you wish. I can tell you the truth that if you will show the knowledge of technologies and tools, which I mentioned during the masterclass, you will be very good candidate, believe me, because the most candidates who are applying for jobs, they have just overall knowledge about the application of AI, and they are applying it in everyday life. So it's not about specific cases of application, but even reconsider all these cases which I mentioned. I mentioned mainly scientific-based cases. If you will follow the companies like Mineral AI or Dyson Farming or Petiole, it's all about the practical application, how it goes in real field. And if you will learn it and understand it, it will find your job. That's it. Can help you. Then the next question is for the plant disease detection tool with LSTM algorithm will be better accuracy. Oh, it depends. Yes, you know, the comparison of machine learning algorithms and approaches, it's a separate topic, and we can spend not just 1 hour, but I think it's 2 or 3 hours just discussing which model is better to use and which is accuracy for what. So this is the point that it also depends on the crop which you are trying to assess. Because, for example, I will do just a different maybe perspective, but some of the crops are demonstrating the nutrient deficiency easily. For example, the corn, the leaves became yellow immediately if you see the change in their nitrogen status. But if you are trying to assess potato for the same criteria, you will never get the proper result because potato is not demonstrating such a good result on this specific criteria. And that's why it's so specifically dependent that it can't be answered that this is like, let's say, random forest is the best for disease detection. Some of the scientists, data scientists, they agree that this is the proper algorithm, but others, and again, the data set which you have, maybe for your data set of 100 images, it will be okay to use module, but for 1000, maybe you need to choose something else. Okay, let's go. Then, shall I get any free training programs related to deep learning-based plant disease detection tools development? Yes, why not? It's a very good question, but I'm the supporter of education, and especially if you have any opportunity to use the tools for disease detection, it's always worth it. If you would and get your job, then any training for disease detection is good. The pests and diseases are the top topics always, especially in this era of climate change, when the pests become stronger and the diseases become more severe and they are spreading widely. I can, for example, give you an insight. In the UK, one of the problems for the apple growers are the two fungi-based diseases called apple, oh my God. I lost it from the top of my hand. We have just applied for this disease detection module. So just I will write about this in my LinkedIn. But I mean that the problem is that climate change is supporting the spreading of this disease because the UK now has the wet winter and the warmer winter, and the fungi is spreading in wider scope based on these climate conditions which we are currently have in the apple orchards. Okay, then the next question is quite a big one. First of all, okay, what will be the authentic source of your treatment for solution provided to farmers? I'm not sure about the depth of this question and what exactly answer shall I give regarding the authentic source of your treatment. Do you mean the treatment for plants regarding the diseases or whatever? And the second question is, what will if a disease is due to any other factor, and do you recommend for the cause? And as we know, it is very costly for farmers use different solutions. Means how? Okay, so I see that your questions are mainly about the disease treatment, and yes, it's. I know that there are some solutions which are providing the not just disease detection, but they also provide the suggestions of chemicals which you need to apply for specific disease. And problem because sometimes these chemicals prepaid. So you need to be sure, and in ideal case, you need to have two comparison. So at least if you will have one disease detection app, just go and find another one. Yes, and this will be the best way how to get the result. And by the way, apple disease which we have now, so it's the apple canker, and it's one of the biggest problem for the apple growers in the UK. Yes, sorry about that, because after 2 hours of conversations I just absolutely forgot the names, but now I finally go back. Yeah, apple scab and apple canker is the UK now. Okay, so I see we have some people on the stage, and Dr. Mani Salari, I would like to ask. Yes, please.
Dr. Mani, please go ahead, ask your question. And even Amit just wanted to have some live questions as well. Quickly.
Yes, hello.
Yes, Dr. Mani, we can hear you.
Yeah, my question is regarding, as I'm from horticultural background, so I want to ask that how this AI tools will be more effective if you want to create a floriculture part, or you can say vegetable garden part in rural areas or in urban areas.
Yes, thank you so much for your question, Dr. Mani. Of your question, so how they can be effective? You can use monitoring. Crop monitoring, crop health monitoring is one of the ways how you can get information about your plants, and this is not as cost. For example, if you are doing huge project, so you can start with mobile application and just track the growth of your plants. For example, you will have your tomatoes or any other plants, and you can measure leaf area of these plants. So on daily basis, you don't need to cut the leaves. You can do it non-destructively. And you can measure starting from the early stage when you just put the seeds into the soil. Then you can for specific crops, you can see the nitrogen status of plants and assess the greenness of leaves. It's one of the aspects how it's possible to do, and see the nutrient deficiency in the plant. And finally, if you will do this, and you will see the historical change, you can use the same idea for further growings. And again, you are not limited to use the mobile app, for example, only for one crop. You can do simultaneously multiple crops. So this is one of the way how you can do the crop monitoring, crop health monitoring, using as much as a smartphone. So you don't need anything else apart from the, let's say, calibrating plate, and use it to make the accuracy proper for your measurement. But if you have any extra suggestions regarding irrigation or other type of setup for your growing place, you can just dive deeper based on your preferences of your crops. Which crops are you growing? And this will be the most important thing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Mani. And also I see we have a question from Amit Bakar. Good afternoon, Amit. Can you hear us?
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon.
We would like to hear your question, and I will do my best to answer.
Ma'am, my question is, first of all, we need to work on mass production of AI tools and the sensor equipments, and it is a big issue in our country that farmers are uneducated, and how we can bring them to this new era of AI, how we can provide them cheaper AI tools and equipments, that how we can get better practical results in effective manner.
I do apologize. I just hear you so badly. Would you be so kind to repeat the question, please? So I hear the farmers, and we need to do you mean? Can you repeat, please?
He has also written that in the chat. Okay, first of all, we need to work on mass production of AI tools and sensor equipments. And a big issue because a very few number of farmers are educated in a country like India. So how can we bring them to this AI era? So he's just talking about
okay. Yes. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This is very helpful. Yes, I mean that, frankly speaking, I believe that AI education, especially education about the possibilities which AI grow, it must be included into the governmental policy for education for the growing generations, because even it's not about just India, it's all about other countries all around the world. It's not included in any of the curriculum for either children or teenagers. It doesn't have this aspect of learning how to grow crops, first of all, and the second thing, it's not included how to use digital and AI technology to do this effectively and in sustainable manner. So thank you so much. It's a very important question. It's all about the fact that we need to remind about the importance of education, and remind about the importance of spreading the important aspect of life, and trying to invest more money from the government into education of the next generations, and then it will be the possibility to bring this AI to have the widespread artificial intelligence technologies in agriculture. Because on point level, it will not be effective. It has to go from the top, the top governmental authorities must say about education in AI.
And just to update everybody, because we have been working with one of the apex body of India, which is ICAR, there are a lot of initiatives that have been taken by the Indian government and ICAR just to educate farmers. In fact, I can also tell you that a lot of universities are working with the government and creating communities where they're actually interacting with the farmers. Like somebody was asking, how do we collect data? How do you collect data is basically you have the equipment, you have the sensors, you go talk to farmers and put it on their farms. Tell them this is going to help you out. I mean, and there are multiple others. Of course, you have farms in your own universities and you're basically doing that. But if you really want that research to percolate to the farmers so that they can start using it, you are the ambassadors. You have to, whatever that you've learned, whatever that you're going to do, research or anything else. And if you've already found out some great findings in order for agriculture to be more effective, spread the word. Take that knowledge, take that to the farmers. And if you want to work with some companies, some startups, work with them, do some internship with them, and collaborate with farmers so that you can really see the results on the ground. But with that, there was also, before Maryna, we go to the next 5 minutes, I just want to quickly update everybody about this. A lot of people are also saying that this is so good that we have so many questions and we really want you to train us on so many questions that they have. So what I'm saying is for something similar to this, we have boot camps and internships that are coming up. And I just want to quickly share with everybody here. So if you see this on our website, if you go to Edorer, if you go to boot camps, like Maryna was saying, data science is so important. You can, of course, find data boot camps at Amsterdam, Berlin, and also in Singapore, Malaysia. These are like 8 days abroad and 18 weeks online. You can apply for them. Plus, we also have boot camps in agriculture. This is a foreign internship boot camp in agriculture. You will be able to understand modern agricultural trends, digital agriculture, and also the agricultural business, the business side of agriculture. We will have mentors like Dr. Maryna. Probably she'll also join us as one of the mentors on this boot camp. And you will be able to do multiple things. This boot camp will actually give you that kind of exposure that you actually looking. So like a lot of you have questions like this: what to learn, where to learn, how do we actually implement that learning, how do we connect, bridge the gap between the agricultural learning and the farmers and whatnot. You also have your own agricultural entrepreneurship plans. All of that will be answered in this boot camp. You will be visiting one of the best universities in agriculture in Southeast Asia and India. This is the #1 university in this region, UPM Malaysia. You will also be meeting a lot of companies and startups that in these regions. You will meet their founders, you will meet researchers. You will also be attending this International Agricultural Conference, which is September 3 to 5. So this boot camp has been planned in conjunction with this. We are also one of the co-organizers of this conference. And you can see all the benefits of this internship and boot camp. You will have certifications, you will have the learning, you will have the skills when you come back. And you can actually roll out a plan of action for your further course of studies, research, or your agricultural entrepreneurship initiatives. Okay, with that note, let's quickly take 1 or 2 questions. Maryna, I understand it's about time, but I just wanted to take 1 or 2 questions.
Sure, thank you so much, Saurabh. So I found I would like to give one clarification question. I found the question: how effective is this technology when planting vegetables, propagated crops, for example, cassava? The main message is that the technologies which I spoke about before, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and all these data collection tools, you can use them without limits for any crop. But the problem is that you need to know the specific of that crop. As I mentioned, for example, for corn, nitrogen status is visible. For potato, tomato, it's not so visible probably. So that's why you need to adjust using. But at the same time, and probably there is one more important aspect of standardization of data collection. So you need to understand that when you are trying, for example, we have a question from Dr. Mani, when she will be doing the monitoring of crop. For example, she has her plant and she will do the take photo every day from the same position above the plant, from the same height above the plant, it will be consistent and it's possible to use it. But if, for example, you are doing one day like that, another day from another angle, then you decide from top. So there is no comparison. You will not be able to compare any data, and your algorithm, if you will use these photos, for example, you feed these photos into a mobile app, to Petiole Pro or any other mobile application, they will give you some, they probably will give you results, but still you will not get any positive insights about that. So first of all, what you need to do is to understand for yourself which crop you are working on, then clarify the guideline. So first step, you are taking photo above this parameter, this height, this light. So specific environment is important. So please take attention for that. And the second, in terms of cost and accessibility, are the cheap. Personally, our application, since we are scientific based, we provide it for free, and we are trying to work with commercial entities to subsidize the free usage by researchers, by individual farmers. So this is our maintenance model when we are trying to get money from commercial companies and put this money into democratizing access for all the farmers who don't have that amount of food produce, and support them with highly innovative tools in that way. So I hope this helps. Okay, let's take one more question, and then probably I need to finish because I have another arrangement. So just give me a second. Please run practical learning. Oh, this is Saurabh, this is what you said about practical learning. I highly recommend Edorer for the opportunity to get this practical knowledge. It's not about the hearing some. So please follow all the instructions given by Saurabh and apply for his boot camp. Then what else? Oh yeah, already. Yeah, I see a lot of questions regarding how to join my company and how to find a job. The point that you need to find to try to find the job in parallel yourself. So it's not the point that you will just finish the boot camp and then you will try to apply for job. You need to do it simultaneously, and then you are just in your CV, in your resume, you are putting the line that currently educated at Agritech boot camp at Edorer. The endorsement of your skill. This will already show the employer, probably your employer, that you are trying to do best and find the real practical knowledge, and this will be very positive part of your CV. So please do it simultaneously, and you will find your job. Just don't give up. Don't give up. And this will be the final question. So, okay, it's about internship program as well. I answered this. Companies there and promote the. It's not relevant regarding our topic, but I mean that AI technology, it has wide application for pharma as well. So as Saurabh mentioned, it's not just about agriculture. The same artificial intelligence at all. We have lots of application of robotic technologies in pharma, and again, machine learning. It's all about pharma as well. So yeah, there is a possibility to use it. And how could we utilize AI monitoring for soil analysis for small and marginal in India? Oh, that's a very important and difficult question. I will answer that. So Kanika, thank you so much for this question. Basically, you can just do it, try to do by yourself. For example, what you can do as of now, you can do, try to do the pH test. I mean, you can buy the pH stripe and just try to understand the pH level of your soil. And this may be the first step and you will see the practical steps of soil monitoring. But obviously for more complex monitoring, like those which I demonstrated, you need to create this kit, this box, where you are using Arduino as a platform, and also you are using this RGB sensor, which is sending the beam, and then you can just use this idea of soil analysis kit for your specific research, but again, not research, but your even specific work. But again, as I mentioned, it requires some knowledge, so please read the paper which I shared, and it will give you some ideas how to do this. So
Wonderful. I understand you're running out of time. You have been
yes, unfortunately, I can't answer all the questions, but
it's
if
okay.
it's possibility to get
Guys,
the log.
we might come up with another Q&A with Maryna. Probably sometime we can plan that. Maryna, if you want to share some resource, you can mail it to me, and I will ask my team to mail every participant of the masterclass when they receive it. Guys, you will also see the recorded session of this on our YouTube channel. We will mail you. Also, you'll receive the certificate of participation for this masterclass, which again you'll receive in 24 hours. So thank you so much, Maryna. Thanks for your time. I understand you have some obligation after this. We really loved this session. Trust me, this was really a highly engaging session. We really enjoyed it so much. And all the best with Petiole and all the great work that you're doing in agriculture. And we wish you a lot of success.
Thank you so much, Saurabh. Thank you so much, Edorer, for the opportunity to speak. And I'm so happy that many people are interested in this topic. And I hope that together we will make our agriculture more sustainable with AI, with regenerative practices, with all these good technologies available. Thank you so much, and stay in touch. Let's continue.
Yes, connect with her on LinkedIn.
Yes,
Okay.
bye.
Thank you,
Have a
everyone.
nice
Bye-bye.
day. Bye.
Bye.